Ready here.
Hello and welcome to the Whole Being Healing podcast. I'm Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self Healing and co creator of Lisa and Maura's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers. And with my co host,
Yes, I am Mara Leoness, and I am co-author with my husband Keith of The Seven Steps to Successful Relationships, among other things, and co-creator with Lisa of Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers and the Whole Being Healing course, and all of that wonderful stuff. And yeah, today we have the beautiful privilege of speaking with John Morschauser, who is the author of the Remembrance Dialogues and other books as well. And we are, this is how Keith and I first connected to him. He just showed up in our lives. He just came to us and said, "Yeah, I'm doing a book. I need help. Let's go." And yeah, I know Keith connected with you and felt your energy right off the bat. And when I read your first manuscript, I was really, really moved by it. It was the feeling of it, the vibration, and the place that it took me to. Just looking at it was something that I had not experienced before. Very special. And so, yeah, I'm very
Thank
excited.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for being here.
That warms my heart. Thank you.
so John has said yes to being a soul signature of one who walks the path of remembrance, not as a teacher above, rather as a companion within. After retiring from a 25-year career as a mortgage loan officer, John stepped into a life of writing, awakening, healing, and remembrance with the divine. He has written and published two books, Remembrance Dialogues and Yeshua the Human, can both be found on Amazon. John, we're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Love having the opportunity to join you all. It's a special privilege. I love the light coming through. Thank you.
yeah, we appreciate you saying yes, and we appreciate you just showing up and connecting with us in this way. And we start out usually by acknowledging our own mission, which has to do with shifting from fear to love and activating our ability to self-heal, and then aligning with our soul purpose. And so we'd love to ask you to share about your journey, the path that you've been on that that got you to discover the soul purpose that you are currently engaged in now.
Well, it's kind of I would say a really non-eventful type of path. I like sharing it from the perspective of letting everybody know that, for every person out there, there's their own path, and their own path doesn't necessarily have to be with lots of thunderbolts and lightning and so forth. It can just be a path of householder finding themselves. And I think that's where my path started. Um, it's kind of a strange juxtaposition of different light points, I guess, for lack of any better definition. When I was 12, I picked up the book Think and Grow Rich and by Napoleon Hill. And I read that book at least three times and finally came away with the concept that the secret to the book was think. If I could master my mind, I could master my world. And then that path, for some reason, ended up to a lay witness mission with our Methodist church here in Albuquerque. And lay witness mission back then, this was in 68, was when uh, members from other Methodist churches would come and witness what Christ had done for them and how Christ had changed their lives when they came, gave their self to Christ. This was kind of like the founding of the born again Christian kind of movement. And during that time, during the evening session, Jesus came in and this was strange because it didn't feel like the Christ that the church kept trying to bring us to or anything. It felt like a friend that I had known for actually lifetimes, centuries, like, like you would do with your bestie, and it wasn't that Christ. And so as we keep going and going and going, and there's just so many different points, I started auto writing. And after I retired and started spending more and more time within, more and more time with my auto writing, then becomes channeling. Then Yeshua comes back in, and then Adamus comes in. And there's when this kind of large arc came through where Yeshua says, we've known each other since Atlantis. And the whole thing was just, auto writing and channeling, and here we are. I like to say, it's nothing that not everybody can do. And Yeshua says, I asked the questions, why me? And he said, first off, why not you? And second off, because you said yes. And, kind of had this little nagging, well, what makes me so special that you're going to talk to me and not talk to anybody else? And he says, I talk to everybody else. It's a question of whether they listen or not.
Mm.
And so this mission for me now is to bring people back to themselves, to bring you back to your own inner wisdom. Don't want you to follow or believe anything that's in any of the books unless it resonates with your heart, resonates with your body, and you feel that yes, this is my truth. And you are a sovereign being, and we now have reached that point where we've got enough light on earth where we can now take back our sovereign power of being ourselves and true to ourselves for ourselves. And so
Yeah.
my big dream is to get everyone to fall madly, madly, madly in love with themselves, not from an egotistical perspective or a narcissistic perspective, but from a truly perspective of how magnificent each human, sovereign human is.
Mm.
Absolutely. I really love that you mention about the body, because the body is so intelligent. The body knows. So when we learn to feel and listen to the body is what starts leading us home to ourselves. Our minds have been so programmed that we think, well, this isn't any logical. This should, yeah. And then, but the body is saying, no, listen, this is what's true.
Right. And
My
there's some, oh, go ahead, John.
well, I've started well after the books and publishing, and now a lot of my self channeling has me talking and listening to everything, the trees, the rocks, the grass. But now I've started coming in and having multiple dialogues with my body, with my knee, with my tension in my shoulders. And I'm learning, as you just said, that there is a story there. And we have been taught our whole life in generations that we aren't smart enough or we aren't wise enough to listen to our bodies and to know what our bodies are telling us. And that is that's been a new experience for me. It's been an absolutely awesome experience because it tells you this. For me, what I'm experiencing is when my knee tells me the story. For example, uh, I had done physical therapy. I did stem cell therapy. And then I finally went back to the knee and I said, what is going on? And the knee said, well, you're preparing to step out, but you're not stepping out into your own. And so it's hurting because it wants to step out and you're not letting it step out. And I thought, wow, I would have never thought of that. It never even occurred to me that something like that could be tied to the path, if you would, into healing and to spirituality and human, you know. So
Wow.
yes, I'm experiencing this three-pronged thing. It's human, spirit, and body, or soul, spirit, and body. But human is the part of enlightenment, this visit on Earth for me.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, isn't it? It seems like it should be the easy part, but
Well, I feel all of the ascended masters here on Earth now, such as you and Lisa and Keith and Autumn, the you set up from the other side before coming into this life to remain on your path on Earth as an ascended master. And my experience, part of that is there's you have to clear your lineages out because it takes a lot of clarity and it takes a lot of light on the earth in order to stay in your ascended mastery on earth all the way up until this time frame. Any of the gurus, the Buddhas, the uh, saints, when they reached ascended mastery, they just crossed over. The earth was too dense for them to stay on it.
mm,
And so now that's part of your chosen mission, if you would. And you're clearing not just blockages from this life, not just wounds from this life, not just ease from this life, but from your generations and from your ancestors. So you've taken on quite a load, quite a load.
yeah, I've had an awareness of that recently, exactly what you're saying. Thank you so much for just kind of validating that. Um, and I've had it validated from outside sources as well. So this is just another validation, but I've really allowed myself recently to connect with it, to notice, what my body's doing, what my thoughts are doing, what's happening in my life, how I'm reacting to it, and how I am healing, clearing, whatever you want to call it, for my lineage. And it's pretty wild to to say that, like it's one thing to fall in love with yourself. That's already, like I started doing that years ago, and that was already like, oh boy, you're not supposed to do that. That's egotistical. That's, you know, make other people feel bad if you feel good, which is totally not true. It's the opposite. Like, how can I make other people feel good unless I feel good about myself?
I agree. How can you help someone feel good if you don't know what feeling good is? Has
Hmm.
been my experience anyway. I mean, but what I think one of my shocks has been just really how my expectations have not panned out. I did kind of have this, well, reach ascended mastery, well then, everything is going to be peaches and cream, and we'll just be, rainbows and unicorns and it's, you know, and I've heard too, or Adamus in some of his stories to me have said some will stop. They'll reach that point of saying, no, I don't want to ascend anymore. No, I don't want to clear anymore. I don't want to go through all of this pain, physical pain anymore. I'm going to either cross over or just live my life as a human without trying to be an ascended master. So it's amazing how difficult it is, I think. And I think you both need to, continue to pat yourself on the back for continuing your work and continuing your missions.
Thank you.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's super
it
sweet.
really is. I remember, years, well, actually when I was 2 years old, I basically, even though I didn't have the words to put on it, I knew in that moment that I knew far more than everybody else around me, not from an egotistical standpoint, but I just remembered who I was. I had full connection to the heavenly realms, to God. And when I looked around, I was like, oh my gosh, everything that I know, none of these people know around me. And so I was like, wow, it's not safe to know what I know. And so I kind of, cut it off. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to be human. I'm just going to fit in. I'm just going to have to. But then when it came time for the rubber to hit the road, and it's like, okay, I really have to start remembering who I am. And I started to expand my consciousness back out. It was like, oh my gosh, like there's nobody else around me who knows all this stuff. This is pretty weird. Like, what do I do? And it gets really uncomfortable when you know things in your body beyond the shadow of a doubt. And then you say things to, just completely like off the cuff, nonchalant, like it's completely obvious. And then other people look at you like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. And it's like, ooh, like, okay. So it's really not an easy path. And, this is one of
No,
the reasons why we started the mystery school was to get, have a place where people could come together and start feeling supported and start feeling that, everything inside, and you need to trust that. And we're here to help you trust that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it was an option to what you said a minute ago, John, to uh just be human and not be in this role. Just forget. I could just like wipe my consciousness and just go from day to day. I don't know. I don't think that really is an option.
I agree with you. That's where it's been with me whenever the books started coming was okay, um, let's see where this goes. But I'm finding that really hard, like you say, it's so everybody looks at you kind of weird and they think you're weird, really. At least my experience has been you know, most of well, in uh Susan, my wife, she's been a psychic. She's been since her 20s. So she's been on this path, she's been here for, 55 years of it. So, but she has lots of memories from other lifetimes of being burned at the stake as a witch, for being on a stage and being stoned, and several things like that that she's brought into this lifetime to clear. So, you know, it's amazing how, that real truth has been uh, brainwashed maybe or taught out of us. And then when you come into your own like that, it's still kind of hard to hang tough for me a lot of times. I still find it, sometimes I just have to kind of collapse within myself for a while because it hurts.
Yeah, and like Lisa said, coming together in the mystery school, coming together like this, like we are today on this podcast, makes such a difference to be able to talk to people who get what we're saying, who can like clearly relate to it and don't think we're crazy or weird. It's so helpful. And yeah, to know and just keep reminding ourselves and each other what we are here to do and that it's important and that we can trust that we're being supported and guided, not just by each other, but by God. And, that connection is there, and it's,
And it really is God.
Yes, not just the paper fiction one that they show you in the Bible. The one that was created in man's image, the actual one.
Well, that was one of my disconnects when Yeshua came back in. Of course, at that time at 15, it was Jesus still because I was in the Methodist Church, but this wasn't the Christ. This wasn't the Savior that was there. This was my friend that had a message, 2,000 years ago, love yourself, come back to you within. The answers are within. It was just different times and different ways of doing it, but it was still there. So that's kind of when you have the rug pulled out from under you, like for me, like that, then it's, and you've been taught that you don't know. I mean, uh, I remember I had an existential crisis when I read Atlas Shrugged, and uh, Dagny Taggart, our heroine, she makes a remark to her uh, brother, the CEO of the railroad company, that she's got her engineering degree. She knows this new metal is going to be better than the steel they make railroads out of. And her brother says, but we don't know that. Everybody doesn't believe it. Nobody knows that. And she says, I do. And I had that existential crisis as to how do we know? Do I really know? Am I really
yeah.
that smart? And that was a big, that was kind of a shift for me because something told me, yes, I am, but everything out there didn't confirm it. Just like you said, what was it, two or three? Nobody knows this stuff. And to even be able to keep it within yourself is to me quite the strength, quite the miracle, if you would.
Yeah, it was it was quite overwhelming to just like to have the realization that, if I speak of all of these things that are just clearly obvious to me, when it's not clearly obvious to anybody else, like I'm going to end up in a mental asylum. Like they're going to put me away, if I tell my mom, who is a teacher, that I don't want to go to school because I know that's where they program us. Like ding dong,
Wow.
hello, it's like what are you gonna do?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And this is kind of some background to it, kind of so you can even just another little perspective of the society we were all in. But just had a friend recently, she just purchased my religious dialogues, but she was talking about she was raised Irish Catholic. And at 14, she went into confession and told the priest, I'm so excited. I found out I can talk to God myself. I don't have to go to the priest or I don't have to go to church.
Oh
I can
boy.
sit on my bed and talk to God. And she said she was just overcome with excitement and joy with herself. And the priest just laid into her and told her how blasphemous that was. And she had to do 35 Hail Marys as contrition. And then he even brought it up the next service, Sunday service, that there is a 14-year-old in this congregation that thinks she can talk to God.
Right?
And, you know, that to me just pointed out that is what we were either blatantly like that or subtly like almost every church, no matter which way you go, you need the priest or you need the church service or you need the worship to please God or to try to get somewhere with God.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to be able at 2 and 3 to know that and be able to stick with it, not have it programmed out of you. That's pretty remarkable.
I don't think I was able to stick with it the whole time. Like, I really pushed it away for quite a long time, until my existential crisis of facing cancer. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't want to go that medical route. Like, I need to
Oh
heal
my
myself.
gosh.
And like, all right, how am I going to heal myself? Well, I think I need to go back and remember what I knew when I was 2. Like, I need
Wow.
to reconnect.
How exciting.
Right?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Well, exciting and a gift to all of us. I mean, we're so fortunate that you said yes to that, Lisa.
Yes, especially after what you had, especially when you're facing cancer, after everything else you've gone through. That's remarkable. That is, that's the heroes, the daily heroes, heroines that I see out there. You know,
Yeah.
it
It's
and
breaking through
the
those veils a
everyday
little bit.
people too. I mean, you're real, you're speaking your truth regardless of the consequences, but you're speaking it with love and saying that the answers are still within. I found where it was at, and you can too, because I'm just as human as you are. I'm not a extra God, or I'm not a savior, or
Right. I mean, but there's also like, what if human is really the who we are not? What if we are all divine? What if we are all grand beings of light? We have always have been and always will be, and we are here in these physical forms, but we have just been taught to be human, that we're just a person, you're just a citizen, you're a student, you're a voter, you're like whatever it is, whatever labels they put on you. And then it causes us to forget who we are. Like,
Right?
I could see the amnesia when I was 2. And I was just like, whoop, people just walking, not having any idea of their brilliance, of their magnificence. And it was so overwhelming.
mm, yes. When that breakthrough finally came to me was the birth of my daughter,
Mm,
and she had gone through stress and had chemical pneumonia, and they had to perform a C-section to get her out, and took her into the ICU, intensive care unit, infant unit, and had the little oxygen thing on her head, and they were trying to get blood out of her heel to test her and so forth. And she and I just sat there, and she grabbed onto my finger with her little hand. And I knew right then and there that everything was God. There was nothing else. This was spirit. This was the greatest miracle in the world. Not just this little being in this incubator, but the man with his finger in her hand was just as much of a miracle as she was. And she and I had a long conversation there, uh, energetically. And that's when, Einstein says there's 2 ways to live your life. One is that nothing is a miracle, or 2, that everything is a miracle. And I don't really see that there's any other way, because it's all or nothing to me. And I think just waking up with the breath in your lungs in the morning is the greatest miracle in the world. And, uh, Adamus says that all, all the cosmos wants to be a human and come to this earth,
Mm.
that this is the greatest cosmic playground in the universe. And I know I find myself, when I get wrapped up in something that triggers me, forgetting that. And I want to keep trying to remember that for myself, because I can see it just every morning, walk out, look out your window and there's snow, walk out your window in spring and there's plants coming up and buds. I mean, geez, how can we ever forget that? We have been well trained to try to forget it, haven't we?
Yes, we
Yeah.
sure have.
Yeah, nature's a great way to remember, as we were talking about before the call started. Yeah, connecting with animals, plants, the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, the water. I mean, there's so much to just be, to feel, you know, to feel that connection to. And, we've all gotten so disconnected from it with technology and with all the distractions of our lives and the pressure and stress and things like that that we have sort of allowed ourselves to buy into to one degree or another. And that disconnects us from nature and from the nature of ourselves. And getting reconnected to the bodies around us and to each other and to our own bodies and to our spirit and to the knowing that we have that we've sort of made ourselves disconnect from because it didn't seem to work within this place. you know? But that's all changing now, and we're changing it, and we're supporting each other in acknowledging it, remembering it, right? And yeah, so appreciate the work that you're doing toward that, John, because I know people are really feeling it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's, well, it's always felt good, but now I'm coming into, I guess, my ascension more to where I'm now putting that foot forward, letting the knee step out now. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And it shifted really quick. And keep up that work with the body. The body is still, I think, where we forget. A lot of the channels now are coming back with, it's the three prong, it's spirit, human, and body, or spirit, heart, and body. But body is one of the three prongs, one of the holy trinities, if you would.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, and with the spiritual community, it was like for a long time, oh, we're trying to escape the body, we're trying to ascend the body, we're trying to, right? And
Right?
it's like,
Yes.
no.
Transcend. And the body is what makes the God experience as a human real. God can experience Mara without you being Mara.
Yep.
And God can experience Lisa without you being Lisa. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Sometimes you see this big overview of a whole bunch of faces or heads on a poster or something, all these people that are doing something. But anyway, if you go and black out one of the faces in that picture and then come back to it, the first place you look is the blank spot.
Mm. Oh.
That's the first thing you'll notice is the person that's missing.
Yes, the void must be filled.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said the void must be filled. Whenever there's
Yes.
we create a space, then we got to fill it with something.
But yeah, but to
Not
me,
sure
it's,
that's the
it's
point
how
you're making.
important everybody is. Each individual, each individual
Yeah,
is.
special. Yeah. And you had shared at the beginning that we don't necessarily need to be doing something amazing to be fulfilling our purpose. And while that's true and what we're doing can be gentle and peaceful and beautiful just by being ourselves, and we make a difference just by being who we are here and allowing our just our vibration to affect our environment and other people in a beautiful way. And at the same time, the shift that that we've seen happening is where the leaders are shifting now. The ones we've seen as leaders have really not led us in a great direction. And even a lot of the spiritual leaders have sort of fallen from grace, or whatever you want to call it, fallen from their pedestals that we may have put them on. And, we see that happening even right now. And so what we're seeing is the new leaders who are emerging are people who, you know, we're kind of reluctant to even call ourselves that. We don't see ourselves as super special, but at the same time we have learned to see ourselves as awesome and beautiful and fall in love with ourselves, like you said, because we know that not doing that is like blasphemy. It's like denying, the beautiful creation that we are.
I just
And
love that. That
yeah.
is a nice little, since they're not doing that is the blasphemy.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Not learning that you can speak to God without a priest, but not acknowledging yourself as the miracle is the real blasphemy. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind of turn the given phrases on their head, so to speak. I
Absolutely.
like that. That's very,
You know,
very apropos.
what we're looking at is, the new leaders are the healers. And when we go back to Yeshua, he was a leader, he
Hmm.
was a healer. He wanted everyone to know who they are. He wanted everybody
Exactly.
to know that they are love, that they are loved, that they are grand beings of light, that they're far more than the money lenders are allowing them to know.
Well, in the new book, I don't know if you had a chance to read it yet, Yeshua the Human, the beginning, there's little things happening in his life as a child that was his spiritual breakthroughs, if you would, and you know, the reason I love that book so much is he's just said or channeled over and over and over, anything I've done, you can do and more. And there's one phrase that sticks to me a lot. I, yes, I raise the dead, but some of you will raise millions from the depths of despair. And I, that to me just put the two together. It put this, kind of took the Savior out and said, we're all capable if we want to create with love, if we want to come to the world in love.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And if we're not feeling great about ourselves, if we're having struggles, to be able to help someone else, you know, escape those depths of despair, there's nothing that can then make us feel better. But doing that, it's really,
Exactly.
it's really
Exactly.
amazing.
This just shine your light, shine your light, shine your light.
Yeah. Well, John, do you have time? Do you want to, do you feel like you have time just for a few minutes to just go into channel for a moment, or is that something you'd like to do to just share a message, whatever wants to be shared with our audience?
Yes, we can see what shows up. I'm always feeling like on the sidelines wondering. But let's acknowledge all of us and all of you in this space at this moment. Lisa and Maura, your mission, your mystery schools, your healing is truly your mission, and you're truly doing an awesome, awesome job with it. I do not want to say this from an egotistical perspective or a narcissistic perspective. I want to say it to just bring you back within the depths of your heart, within the depths of your soul, within the depths of your bodies. And to also get you so deep into your own soul and body and heart that you know there is no difference. There is no God in me. You are one. You are in unity. You are both in unity and you are a spark of unity. You will never know how far and how wide and how many lives your work is touching, your work is changing, your work is influencing in this world. Stay the course, shine your light, follow the silent morning whispers that takes quietness and breath to hear, not action and explosions. As the musician will tell you, the music is in the space between the notes. I will tell you your wisdom, your love, your co-creation, your God, your universe is in the space between the breath, is in the quietness of the breath. And above all, have some fun. Even this channel is still taking this way too serious. Come on. The one thing that we still on this side, all of the ascended masters and all the channels and all the guides cannot seem to get through is you truly came on this side, wanted to come here now to have fun, especially whenever you came in at this time where you can be an ascended master and stay on earth. The question has always been, wouldn't it be fun if? Does that resonate?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I remember a
Thank
long
you.
time ago when I was really struggling, and I just looked up into the sky and said, why in the world would I incarnate into such a mess? Like, why? What would prompt me to do this? And the answer came back, because it's fun. I was like, all right, I'm going to need to find out why this is fun, because I'm really not having any fun at the moment.
This is your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Right. And I just realized I love that that you just brought that in, because oh, Lisa reawoke in me that about having fun. And at first I was just like, what is she talking about? What is wrong with this woman? And then I was like, wait a minute, come on. And I realized that was for me. And now these days, whenever we get ready to do something like this podcast, before we get on the Zoom, I say, let's have some fun, Lisa. And I don't think I did that today. So, yeah, that was very appropriate to bring that in. Thank you. Thank you so much.
See,
You're
again, it was
welcome.
all your
I
fault that my
needed it
computer
myself,
didn't turn on.
actually. That's what, because I was feeling, like, come on now, get over this. I mean, seriously, I always have this vision of when I'm crossing over, having all of my ascended masters and everything there saying we never could take that seriously, could we? And now I've moved into, I want to do that every day because I'm already spending a lot of time in the channel and in the books and so forth, where the veil is so thin that I'm sure you all experience this a lot, especially with your healing modalities in your community, that you are truly on the other side walking the earth now. And you can start not taking it so seriously now. Don't have to wait till we cross over. And kind of like Wayne Dyer used to talk about the guy in the hospital room, all the tubes and everything going in and coming out and everything. And everybody on the other side say, come on over. We've got the party going. We've already started. We've got the candles lit. The fireworks are going. Come on over. And he says, well, I'm trying if I just get all these damn tubes and shit out of me.
Oh boy.
Right? So like it's, I don't know what, an old saying that I heard was, sadness and sickness go hand in hand, but it's hard to throw up when you're laughing. It's like, the more fun that we have, the better we feel. And the
Yeah.
better we feel, the better our body feels. And, it just becomes this whole cycle of life where the more fun we have, the happier we are, the healthier we are, the wealthier we are, and the more impact we make in the world.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that circle. I could just see the visions and it's not really a full circle. It's kind of like an atom that you see, it's just all different paths. It's not just a boring circle. It's just all of these paths coming in. And that feels really good. Just and I like that.
Yep. That might be it.
This has been just so beautiful, such a wonderful way to end this on this high note of remembering that life is fun. It's meant to be fun. We're meant to be provided for. We're meant to feel good going through life. And the more we can kind of let go and tune in to our bodies and tune in to the inside where God is, where everything that we are looking for comes from inside here.
Mm.
So beautiful.
I always think of, I can't even remember who talked about it one time, but some teacher was talking about, you go to Disney World or you go to the amusement park and you go through the haunted house or you get on the roller coaster or you get on the Ferris wheel to scare yourself because that's when it's fun.
Right?
you know, and uh, and so
That's a good
there's
point.
where I'm trying to move some of this, what we call crap in is, it can also be fun to scare ourselves into healing.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Whee!
With
Here we
laughter.
go.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
yeah,
Let's do that again.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
It definitely seemed scary not to go with a doctor or medical model, but it turned out to be the most empowering journey ever. And so a lot of times when we just put up our hands, and go wee, and we start trusting what is coming through, it all works out far better than we could have imagined.
Yes.
Well, you are God being God.
That's it.
The question isn't, are you God or aren't you God? The question is, when do you decide to accept it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Yep. That is the message for all of us, isn't it? When do you decide to accept it? Because not accepting it is the uncomfortable thing. That's what creates the pain. That's what creates what we call illness. So you might as well get jiggy with it.
Might as well say yes.
And to remember who we are. We are here
Yes.
John Morschauser of the Remembrance Dialogues. If you have not yet read the Remembrance Dialogues or Yeshua the Human, and I know there are more coming, please, they're beautiful books. They're they're easy reads. They don't take a long time to read, but there's a lot of depth, a lot of beauty, a lot of joy in those books. And I even have one right here on my desk. This is the first one,
Oh,
Remembrance
cool.
Yep.
Dialogues. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Right.
Nice.
So this was the first one that I read. I'm halfway through the other one right now, and they're beautiful books. So we highly recommend that. So if you're watching the show
Sure.
today, please look in the show notes, and we will have links to the books. We will have links to John's website, so that you can reach out to John and you can find these amazing books.
Anything else you want to let people know, John? Or does that
Just
feel
thank you so much for inviting me. I have enjoyed this tremendously. I feel as Abraham, Esther Hicks would say, we are complete.
We are complete. Thanks so much again, John. We really appreciate you.
Bye-bye for now.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you to
Bye-bye.
our beautiful audience today. Thank you for joining us. So until next time, happy
Happy
healing.
healing.